The unfolding heart. St. Francis de Sales' timeless vision of human potential and devout living. Today, we reflect on the beautiful and inspiring vision of St. Francis de Sales, a saint whose spirituality continues to touch hearts centuries later. His vision combines a deep understanding of the human person with an unwavering faith in God's love. He teaches us that holiness is not reserved for monasteries or mountaintops, but is something we can live in the heart of our daily lives. At the core of his message is this: every person is created in the image of God, filled with dignity, freedom, and potential. His approach is called devout humanism, a spirituality that honors our full humanity while drawing us closer to divine love. First point for reflection today is Salesian humanism, a pathway for everyday holiness. St. Francis de Sales did not see faith and life as separate. For him, philosophy wasn't theory, it was a guide for daily living. He believed our thoughts, choices, and actions, big or small, shape our journey toward God. His humanism was different. It wasn't just a celebration of human ability, but a recognition that our dignity and potential are God's gifts. He showed us that being human doesn't oppose being holy. Rather, holiness blossoms when we live out our humanity with love, kindness, and responsibility. This integration of human dignity and divine grace became the heart of his spirituality. Second point, a man of his time, a saint for all time. St. Francis de Sales lived in the dynamic era of the Renaissance and the Catholic Reformation, times of renewal, challenge, and change. The world was rediscovering human creativity and reason, but also wrestling with division in the church. Rather than retreating from this world, Francis entered into it. He absorbed the Christian humanism of his time, a vision that united classical learning with Christian faith. Influenced by thinkers like St. Ignatius of Loyola, Francis de Sales helped renew spirituality by placing it within the grasp of every person. As the historian H. Bromond puts it, he was the most perfect and exact expression of devout humanism. Third point for our reflection today is his anthropology, a profound vision of the human person. Let us look at a few key themes that define St. Francis de Sales' anthropology, his understanding of what it means to be human. First of all, love as our true nature. Francis de Sales taught that God is love, and we, made in God's image, are created to love and be loved. Love is not just a feeling, it is the core energy of the soul, the path to holiness. He said, all through love, nothing through force. In Salesian spirituality, even correction is gentle and relationships are shaped by kindness, not coercion. Secondly, the dignity of every person. Every soul, he said, is a marvel of creation. We are made to be God's dwelling place and God our resting place. This vision gives each person an unshakable dignity, no matter their flaws, history, or limitations. Thirdly, holiness is for everyone. This was revolutionary. Francis believed that all are called to holiness, not just priests and nuns, but also parents, farmers, teachers, workers. His introduction to the devout life was written especially for lay people, inviting them to find God in their daily routines. Fourthly, freedom, will, and the present moment. He emphasized freedom without fear. Obedience, he taught, should come from love, not guilt or scruple. He encouraged a spirituality rooted in the present moment, what he called the sacrament of the present moment. It's here, now, that we meet God. Fifthly, virtue as a path to wholeness. Gentleness, humility, patience, gratitude, these weren't optional virtues. They were essential. Francis de Sales believed virtues form the bridge between humanity and holiness. Cultivating these qualities helps us become more ourselves and more like Christ. Sixthly, the journey within. Francis encouraged self-knowledge, not in a psychological sense, but a spiritual one. Knowing oneself, our strengths and faults, helps us grow in grace. He was deeply realistic about sin and weakness, but always urged progress with hope and not despair. The fourth point for our reflection today is wisdom in practice, Salesian spirituality in action. Francis de Sales' wisdom wasn't theoretical, it was lived and shared. First of all, as a spiritual guide, he was a gentle spiritual director. His letters and conversations were marked by empathy, patience, and deep respect for each person's unique journey. He never imposed but gently invited. Secondly, as an educator, he believed in educating the whole person, mind, heart, and soul. True education for him meant not only learning facts but becoming virtuous and loving. Thirdly, as a communicator, as the patron saint of journalists, he used the latest tools of his time, like printing small pamphlets, to share the faith. He was ahead of his time, understanding that language must be adapted to the audience and truth must be shared with love. Fourthly, as a community builder, he believed Christian community should be rooted in respect, appreciation, kindness, and encouragement. He reminded us that true communion grows through gentleness and not by force. Fifth point for our reflection today is why he matters today, a saint for our time. In our world today, often hurried, divided, and filled with noise, St. Francis de Sales offers a quiet revolution. He speaks to a world tired of harshness with a gospel of gentleness and love. While some may have accused him of being too soft, his message remains bold. You are called to holiness. You are capable of love. You are made for communion with God. His spirituality gives us an anchor in our fast-paced lives. It reminds us that God is not far off, but present in our homes, our workshops, our conversations, and even our struggles. His vision offers an antidote to cynicism, to fear, and to the loss of hope. To conclude, St. Francis de Sales shows us that being truly human with all our imperfections and aspirations is not a problem to solve, but a gift to embrace. Holiness is not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more yourself as God created you to be. Let us take his words to heart. Be who you are and be that well. May his gentle wisdom inspire us to live with love, walk with freedom, and grow in holiness, not tomorrow, but today, in the ordinary moments of our lives. Let us unfold our hearts and in doing so, discover the heart of God. Live Jesus.